Yo! What's up, everybody? My name's Alckemy. Welcome to the channel. We have a lot to do today with not as much time as I would like. I've been extremely busy the last few days. Apologies for streaming late. I've had a busy day. Lots of stuff going on. And then tomorrow I won't be live. Friday I will be live at some point, but I just started physical therapy and I've got an appointment. But yeah, what up? Welcome if you're brand new here. My name's Alckemy. We do lots of cool sound design and just beats, kind of like what you heard from before. Yo, Nate, what's up? Before we do that, something that I do at the beginning of every stream is the quick play spells, which let me leave a link to the Discord before we do that. This is just a way that if you're working on something, you want to share it. It's a 15-second daily submission to where you could be like, yo, I just want to share what I'm working on. It also holds you accountable to be like, man, I haven't made anything in the DAW in like a week. I should probably do something like that. I think we only have 3, so we're going to play through those, and then we're going to be remixing the Twilight Palace again from Legend of Zelda, which I have a cool story behind that. But yeah, I have... What part did I explode? If not personal, of course. I've been having knee issues for like a decade, and it's just one of those things that sucks, but you have to deal with. But yeah, in 2016, I made this late night Twilight, and I recently saw a really good friend of mine. His name's Ritzy. You might know him. I talk about him on and off. He's got a candle business, which you should totally check out. This thing smells incredible, by the way. The Royal Montague is the name of his company, but yeah, he's been my longtime childhood friend since I was maybe 8 or 9, like 9 or 10. When knee surgery is tomorrow? Fuck no, no surgery. But anyways, he is a really good friend of mine, and I went to visit him when I was in California a couple weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, man, have you heard any of my new music? And he's like, no, but I got something that I listen to all the time. And he pulled up this song, and I was like, wow, I made this a long time ago. And I don't know, it was just a thing that kind of inspired me to want to try to remake it, but maybe in like the halftime sense, because this one is more of like a slow trap sound, which I think is pretty cool, but it's also kind of bare bones with like just a sample and a beat and some glitches and stuff. And so I want to see if I can spruce that up and maybe make it more so towards like the style that I've grown into since what, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, almost a decade ago. So if that seems interesting, I'm going to try to get an idea started as quickly as possible. No sound from the music player. How about now? Yeah, that looks good. I think that's going through. Yeah, this was super cool for its time, but it's a little bit outdated. So let's get through the quick play spells. Then I already have the sample loaded within Bitwig, and we'll get to the chopping board on that in a second. But I kind of have a muddy view of what I want to do with it. But yeah, let's get through these, and then I'll start on the track process. I like it. I actually think that you could have just made this the whole idea, and I would have been boom, boop, boop. Like that would have been pretty cool. Made some chiptune for my sister. Let's go. Shout out to Drambo, best fucking app on iOS. It's actually really nice. Good shit. I like this, man. It's got potential. Like I said, dude, Velvet, you need to stop posting every day and like finish some music because I think that you're the most consistent poster out of everyone here, and I have yet to see you finish something. So your problem is not making ideas anymore. It's getting them done. So I would like to see at least a minute long version of this, you know. Um I know you can do it. Happy Wednesday, Numicron. So yeah, we've got Twilight Realm here. I'm going to change the tempo of this so that way I don't get copyrighted and then I'll figure out what key it's in. But let's see what I can isolate through this, and then I'm actually going to start doing some sound design over it and seeing what I can extract to get like a fresh take on this. Because I really like I mean, this is the whole idea, really. And then there's also this like really cool arpeggiator, this. I want to catch that one right there. So what would happen if I took this and stretch this out to a bar? Because I do think that I want to use this, but maybe at like half the speed. Yeah, it's pretty nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. Okay, we're gonna set the rest of the sample to. Hey, Will, what's up? The rest of this to what was it? 116, 116.03. And now this should be in key with the rest of the other parts. So. Oops. Cool. So now we've got our main hook, and then we also have our second part to this, because we can just. Except what I want to do is I'll probably take the second part of it, because the beginning of this fades in, right? And so I want this to be able to loop to where it's not sounding like it's constantly the intro of a track. Hey, what's up, Ritz? How are you? I was just telling the story about how I came to visit, and we were listening to music in the car, and you put this on, and I was like, "Hey, I should probably go back and revisit this." I think here. Just a little bit over. Thanks, man. Yeah, we'll see what we can do with it. So that needs to be just a little bit more to the right. It's just a little bit off, so I'm gonna spend some time on this and try to get this loop to be where I want it to. I think when I did this from before, I also had trouble with that. Okay, maybe just a little bit of fade in now. Okay, there we go. And then we've got this part. I kind of want this to be like a little bit more spread out though. So everything just a little bit later. It's going to change the pitch of it, but I want it to be a little bit late so that way it's going to have a little bit of groove. I'm going to change this to 120.37 as well, just to make sure that the pitching of this matches. And then we need to move this over. Perfect. There it is. So now we can kind of leave some spaces here to make it go like boof. Boom, dun. And then what I'd like to do with this is we're going to make this twice as fast and just see what we can get out of. So we'll create another version of this and just get the high end of that to make it do whatever. And now what we can do is we can bounce this and we can actually stretch this again too. Hey, Ara, what's up? And then we can cut that up to be whatever rhythm we want. I just wanted to have another copy of that. So the next piece to this that we'll start working on is putting these two together with a little bit of empty space in between. And I'm going to send this through Beam. And what we're doing right now is just trying to get different iterations of the iconic sample, right? We've been having beast workouts lately, 2.5 hours. Let's go. Supersets? Supersets? No, I'm just kidding. Ignore me. Oh shit, I put 2 instances of Beam up. And so we're just gonna get some texture out of this now. I was just kidding. I was being a jerk, to be honest. See, like, this is really pretty. So we can take all of that and throw this in here as well in the bottom. And to get some other stuff, layer is a reverb, right? Like it looks like a Necronomicon type of reverb with lots of alchemic symbols and stuff. I've heard of it, haven't used it. This, I want to hear this without the Well, maybe what I'll do is just turn the mix down because I want to hear what that interaction is because there's this melody that's hiding within that I really like. Oh my gosh. No? No one else? Is that not the one? I think so the beat structure that I'm thinking is like that's kind of the beat that I'm thinking of here. And so what I'm going to start with is I don't think I'm going to do any sound design for the drums today because I just want to get the idea down. Maybe like so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to beatbox this in so I don't lose the idea. Because that's like the fastest way for me to forget what I'm doing. And then what's cool about this is now that I have this, I can just get to work on filling in where I want this to be. And it's going to be a little bit different than where it comes out, but as opposed to trying to remember the idea, I have the equivalent of a sketch, right? Or a photo or, you know, a fucking stick figure of what the beat should become. Right? So I'm going to go and get into some kicks. So this one has a little bit too much high energy in it, but I like it because if we just do some small changes to it, exactly, you just replace the beatbox with the sounds. Do you remember when you were asking me about like the hi-hat patterns and stuff? It's called audiating, and when you have that imagination, you know, and the cool thing too is like, let's say you beatbox, but you're not in time. There are things that will quantize it for you and put it onto the grid. The kind of music that I make is off grid, but if you wanted it to kind of get closer to what you're looking at while you're developing the skill set, it'll just be like, this is off, and snap. Yeah, see, this kind of kick is exactly what I was looking for. I'm really hoping that today is going to be one of those days where shit just comes together because we're off to a really strong start. Although I don't want to jinx it, I think that even just getting to this far though in this short amount of time is nice. That's a clipper. That's a rim shot. Let's start with just a bit of a clap. And what I'll do is I'll just use this as a placeholder, and then I'll start to focus on the other sounds. So even if this clap doesn't work for me, if I can get it to play nicely with the other stuff that I want to introduce in here, then like I can manipulate it and then do other shit to it. So we're gonna find some hats. Oops, that was not a hat. This is something that we can use as our timekeeper, as Brian calls it. And then I need something that's a little bit shorter. I could just make one. We'll see. I'm going to give it like 2 minutes, and if I can't find the one I want, I'm just going to make it. Literally the worst fucking part of making music. Why are all these so long? Let me try some hats that are not mine. Just hats, please. This might do. So now we can create... yeah, that's exactly what this is. And at a certain point, you know, you're just like... Or like the right stock photo. And you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to take my own fucking picture. And so now, you see how all of this is off grid? I'm just going to align the sounds with where this is placed at. And then if it sounds too off, then I'll adjust it accordingly. We're probably going to have to do some manipulation to the way that these hats sound. But I'm not too worried about that. A good start. So now we just need to come up with a pattern that's going to give us a groove. Because like this is a good start, but it's not enough. And right now, like the most important thing with the groove is the interaction between the sounds that are not the kick and the snare. So right now, this is, listen to the way that this goes. Right? But then when we put this before it, so it's very straight. But if we kind of play around with the positioning of these, then we can kind of mess around and see if we can find a middle ground in between. Because I want this hat to be later, but I want it to be like... And that interaction is like what's going to make the beat that I had in mind. So it's got a late hat, and then everything else catches up when it meets into doing that. So you might also notice that this snare is super early. And so sometimes if it's too early, then we can just move everything over this way in order to create more negative space in between this. So, and now within this, we can move this late because we don't want everything to be smushed together quite yet. So the spacing between these two are fine, but we can play with the positioning of where we want that be. Well, where we want that to be. Fucking Bitwig. It's actually kind of cool. I can create a duplicate of this just by doing that and then manipulate that there. We can create a little bit of a shuffle by moving this one in between. So on grid, off grid. And then this needs to be a different sound because it's going to be an accent. So it's supposed to be like, instead of it just going, it needs to be like, and you see that too, like we need open sounds in here, but that's also going to help accentuate this a little bit more. Let's try a copycat hat. Okay, so let's get some open hats now.
Open your mind.
Wait, Ritz, I got one for you. Check this out. Where's that? Oh, here we go.
You like Castlevania, don't you?
So, do you like to play Castlevania? All right, now with all these hats and stuff, we can start to mess around with changing the timbre and the characteristics of them. The placement is the most important thing for me. And what we can actually do is create another interaction here. Now that I hear it, we can go. Make this a little bit late. A little bit earlier. So what would happen if we did something like this now to where I'm going to take just a little break from the beat and I want to try putting a trance gate on this. Really like a lot of it, but I really want the melody of this to be more clear. Thank you. So we can just use this now. There we go. Ah, Ritz, you didn't, dude. Thank you, man. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate it. Let's go into Ritz. You know that your money is no good to me. Please, thank you, but don't ever do that again. Ever again. Ever. Ever. I'm looking for... I thought I had some stuff in here that was like nice Reese's and stuff, but whatever. I think it would just be more efficient for me to make one. You protect your #1 spot. You have the #1 spot in my heart. In my heart. And my soul. I think that, I think you're my oldest friend. No, as in like longest, oldest friend. I mean, I already have a remix of this. It's just I'm doing another version of this. And then we can do stuff like this when we start developing the loop, like we can go like... And then we need like a D right there. Shut up. Cool. So I'm gonna pull some harmonics out of this to make this sound a little bit better. That way it's got a little bit of top end, but it's not too overbearing. And then what we can do is play and see if this works. And so we can mute this now. And okay, I'm going to take this and move this out of the way. Now would be a good time to duplicate this to see if this phrase extends into something interesting. So for that part, what we would do most likely, because it's a little bit, it's a little bit colliding or competing with this. So I'm just gonna make a copy of this sound and take off the high end of it. Well, it's mostly just the integration with phase plant. So we can kind of just have that, which is kind of cliche, but we can always just... And so what we would also do with that top sound here is you can hear how it's kind of muddy, and that's because the low end is competing with itself. So if you look at this part, this right here, so if we probably don't even need to cut it if we just use a shelf. The sound, or the track, is pretty much in A minor, so if we wanted to harmonize with it, we... Something like that, I think, would be a sick melody. Like, obviously the sound is shit or whatever, but that... I think that would be a really nice addition as a top melody to just kind of add to the whole thing, so... Sure. We can always modify it later. But I wish I could improv like that. That was cool. Dude, I did this on a QWERTY keyboard. Like, yes, you do you know A minor? Let me rephrase. Do you know the A minor scale? Okay, so we can... So we need to move some of this off just a little bit in order to make it make more sense, because it's a little bit off. And then I wanted to do something like, we'll keep the same phrase here, and then we'll change this part into something else. Do 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 A. Yeah, so that works. And right now, I'm just like in a fury of writing ideas. I'm trying not to think too much about the outcome of what's going on. I'm just saying like, oh, what if I do this? Oh, what if I do this? Because at a certain point, like, it'll make sense somewhere down the road, but as of now, I'm just trying to continue putting as many ideas into the project as possible and then sorting through it and being like, okay, I'm going to keep this, I'm going to not keep that, I'll keep this, not keep that. Cool. So that can stem off into where it leads, because now we have a couple of different musical parts. So then we have this, right? So now we've got the then we have that little addition there. Then we have something kind of like here where we can just do our rough sketch. Now, what happened to the other bass that I had? Oh, right. It's here. So we've got this bass line. Yeah, we can ride that back. The mix is shit, whatever. Okay, cool. So yeah, at least a couple of different ideas in here. And now what we can get into is coming back into the drum loop and really trying to fortify this out. I'm not necessarily sold on this, but I do like this part to this part. And also this bass is just way too loud. This is what I meant to do. So the next part of this to move this forward is I'm going to grab everything that's not drums and move this into the side chisel, which is the side chain. It's going to duck. Every time the kick and snare hit, it's going to duck everything else around it. Just gives it a cool effect if you don't know what that is. We're going to throw this into the percussion group. All right, so now I'm going to add some convolution. We're going to just make a resampling rack. This is going to be a little bit abrasive, but trust the process. Cool, we need like 3 of these. Then I'm going to use the over tool, and this is just going to clip this. So we're just bringing up everything that's quiet, just super high up. And then I'm going to use a delay to try to change some of the sounds and get some variation to resample. So it's probably more than enough, to be honest. Now that we have that, we can just take this and drop this right in. And we can start to use different pieces of this to fortify the groove that we've created, or just layer, really. So now that we have this, we can save it for later. We just go group, turn it off. And if this is like shit, then we can do it again. And the other thing that I think is really important about this as well is, like, don't be afraid to break it. I'm not going to try to layer every sound with this. I'm just looking for interesting interactions. Like, this is really cool. It's got too much sub in it, but if we were to stretch this out a bit and just do this, it gives it extra weight. Cool. We can use something like this as a little bit here. This will create a shuffle for us. If I can get out of the fucking thing. Jesus Christ, dude. So now we can repeat this at every bar. So we can just go... Wait, let me see what this is. I don't really like this, but this is kind of nice as a reset. And so now we've got more texture over this. And what we can do is start to variate a lot of the moments and moments within this. So as opposed to it just being boom, boom, ka, boom, ka. Like for 5 minutes, we can, you know, we have a lot of agency in controlling the way that we actually try to play the beat. So usually I start with 1 bar at a time. So this is fine. And then when we get to here, I might make a change to it. So we can go something like... Just going to start making a bunch of decisions that don't require a lot of thinking. Open hat. Now we can boom boom. But we want this to be a little bit. That way it doesn't sound like it's just the same sample over and over, you know? And we can also go pop pop, so did the wrong one, but I might be able to work with that. Throw a ring mod on this. Okay, this needs a little bit more support, so I'm going to add a vocoder on the top end of it to give it some white noise. And so within this, sorry. See, it just gives it a little more. We can give ourselves just a little bit of distortion with this. I don't want to go full out because I like the natural feel of how the snare sounds. So I don't want to like push it into like a snare that I would normally design, but that just gives it a little more weight on the top. So let's see if that. Yeah, the problem is that I'm going to have to do this because this is way more quiet than yeah. So guess we're going to have to send it. Send it, bro. Probably just work. I don't know. What about you? Are you doing anything? It's a little more competitive. All work and no playing. Oh, really? What are you going to play? Or which one? Fair. Probably not, man. Like I sorry. Okay, so we have a cool little like A/B section now that is working. I wanted to play Legends, but the problem with it is that the whole game takes place within the city. And I'm like, there's not any Pokemon in there that I can't get from the games that I have, and my dex is very close. I think I'm like 100 Pokemon away from having my national dex complete, other than the Megas, but the Megas don't count. But also, I've seen the Megas, and they don't really look all that impressive, minus a few. They're kind of like, I don't know. I feel like they just feel really uninspired, I guess. Like Mega Lucario, Mega Gengar, the first generation of Mega Pokemon, well, actually, even the second generation of Mega Pokemon with like Marshtomp and like all of that, those guys were dope. But for whatever reason, just the new ones are like Mega Dragonite. Like, you should have turned him into, I don't know, man, something like just giving him wings on his head was like, what should we do for Mega Dragonite? Let's give him wings on his head. The fuck? What? It's fucking Dragonite. Like, come on. Sorry. Yo, don't get me started. I don't know. I'm definitely going to watch it because I want to see what happens, and I want to see if there's anything that is exclusive in it that you can't get in other games, but for the most part, it's like I've got 50 million Zygardes, so I don't need those. It feels like a cash grab to me. I heard that Legends Arceus was really cool. Arceus, however the fuck you say that. Which I do intend to play that because that actually seemed like a really cool and engaging type of Pokemon game. But when it comes to Legends ZA, I'm just like, so you're telling me, excuse me, that you're charging $90 for this in the DLC and you are releasing the DLC right when the game comes out? It's like, what the it's kind of unacceptable. Kind of unacceptable. And the whole game takes place within the city. So what is the DLC going to offer? A town? A fucking hotel? Like, come on. What? There is no way that you could justify Tears of the Kingdom being the same price as Legends ZA and calling it like an equal amount of quality. If you set the bar that high, like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to adjust the price accordingly. And not to mention, like, Scarlet and Violet was such an annoying, I would call that a failure. Maybe not commercially, but the game itself had so many issues with it. A lot of those issues actually made the game playable on Switch 2. But the first demonstration of it on the first Switch with like the 15 frames per second and the crazy glitches and like, you know, you had all this land and like this whole map and nothing to do in between. No side quests pretty much, other than beat the trainers, collect the Pokemon, and be a good student. Like, I don't fucking play Pokemon to be a good student. I play Pokemon to get away from being a fucking student. At least that's what I did when we were kids. You know what I mean? I don't want to do my fucking homework. I want to catch a crazy, you know, Pokemon thing that has this cool lead up. And like, what happened? I'm about to crash out, but what happened to Pokemon? Like, the era from second gen to what is it, Gen 5 with Black 2, Gen 6 maybe, Black 2 and White 2 was immense. But then when you came out with X and Y, everything after that was just like, what the fuck happened here? What happened to post-game content? What happened to, you know, cool little side quests? What happened to like, hey, you can earn this Pokemon, but you have to do some kind of things and you have to trade for it within an NPC within the game, or you know what I mean? It was just like interesting stuff that you could do. What happened to Pokeblocks from Ruby and Sapphire? Like, I can't even tell you how much time I spent doing that shit, trying to like time the button presses. I think my brother and I used to like have pseudo competitions at that because he would get his ass whooped and everything. Siblings, right? But yeah, it's just annoying that it's just so like bare minimum now. Catch stuff. That's not enough for us anymore. You know? Like, and it's not just the catching part, it's like how we get up to those catches. It's like how we lead up to I think the best example I could think of is like when you have to climb the tower to catch Rayquaza, and there's this big lead up to it. Like you go and you catch, you know, the main legendary of whatever, and like that takes the whole fucking game to get through, and like, you know, then the entire world is at stake. And then once you do that, then it's like, yo, there's this tower once you beat the Elite Four that you have to figure out a puzzle in order to even reach to get through. Like there was none of that in these games. It's just there, and it's like, oh, here you go. Here's 4 legendaries. Go around the whole fucking map and collect these swords and shit, and in completely arbitrary places that, unless if you look at a guide, you'll likely never find. And it's like, and then you get to like catch the thing, and it comes out of a wall. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just getting old, but that shit was, that's just whack. Love Pokemon. Fucking love it. One of the best franchises ever made, but the games, that game and Scarlet and Violet were straight cheeks. Anyway. Great rant, completely agreed. Make Pokemon great again. I know, right? It's like, well, how about this? Just put some fucking effort. Put some effort into polishing the game. Twilight Princess has excellent atmosphere, high for the beat. Yeah, we're well on our way with ideas and stuff. I just don't, I'm just kind of exploring what's coming out. Do. We have to spend on money on making every other fucking game going to be able to summon fights. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is now a patent violation. Yeah, that's not going to hold up. Like, they've already created so many other games. Like, you can't... Like, I love Nintendo, but that was a really dumb thing to do. Sorry. Shotgun it. Sorry, I changed up the rhythm just a little bit right here because I wanted to have a bit of a switch up. 5, 6, 7, 8. Um, well, and that's kind of the problem too, right? Is like once technology started coming out and people started. Power World is a great example. I actually like Cassette Beasts. If you like Pokemon, you should check that one out. It's not. It's different. It's got a different flavor, but it has a pretty cool. Hi, baby. Okay. Hi. No, you can't. No, you can't just jump in my lap like that. Also, I've heard Tear of the Kingdom wasn't well received. How they managed to screw that up after Tears of the Kingdom was really good. I mean, there's still some problems with it, but it was a huge upgrade from Breath of the Wild. I don't know where you heard that from, to be honest. I think that I would much rather play Tears of the Kingdom than Breath of the Wild. Down, Jersey. Get down. Nope. Get down. You have kiss? Love you. Now get down. Um yeah, Tears of the Kingdom was pretty damn good. Like there were some moments in that game that I'm like I will remember that forever, you know? But it wasn't like the whole game was like that. Like Ocarina of Time, you know, from the Great Deku Tree to, you know, the giant mask from Dodongo's Cavern and saving the annoying ass Princess Ruto. Like every single step of the way through that game was nothing short of iconic. Even if annoying, right? Fuck the water temple. It's actually not that bad, but the water temple sucked. Um, but you know what I'm saying? But with Tears of the Kingdom, like there was so many moments that were not like that were so forgettable that it was just kind of like, all right. And then they had some stuff that was just straight up like, whoa, where was this the whole game? I guess I could talk about it because the game is kind of older now, but like when you're building your way up to the top of the Rito village and you're trying to get to the center of the storm, and when you actually jump into the storm, like it's all fucked up, and then like the way clears and there's a whole fucking ship there, and you're like, oh fuck, and that's the Wind Temple. Like that was one of the dopest gaming moments I can recall in the last 20 years. That was so cool. But then everything else after that, like the fire temple was like, okay. The spirit temple was like, how do you call this the spirit temple? But okay. Um, the water temple was all right, I guess. Trying to think. Yeah, the Yiga battles or the what's the Yiga master's name? Like chasing him down in the under and the chasms were cool. The Ganondorf fight was great. I didn't really care for like the unlockables that you get, so like just having people to help fight you was kind of silly to me. I really want Zelda to bring back items that you unlock that help you interact with the world more. And that was what made Zelda so special, and I feel like they've forgotten that, which you know, they were pressured to go open worlds, like true open world and all that other stuff, and I get like the whole aspect of creative freedom and whatever, but they still haven't locked in like do you remember when you got the fucking hook shot? Any Zelda game, you get a hook shot and it's like, damn, I could go anywhere now. At least you felt like you did. And then like you would go and you'd start firing the stupid hook shot at stuff that had no business being fired at. And then every once in a while you might be like, oh shit, that worked. You know what I mean? Like a criminally underutilized item in Twilight Princess was the gear, right? You have like 3 moments with that gear that was so fucking cool. And like the just the riding aspect of it and the mechanic of like jumping from wall to wall with like the speed and velocity of it, that was one of the coolest things that I think The Legend of Zelda has ever done. But it was so underutilized. The ball and chain had great mechanics. Like Twilight Princess had so many cool gadgets and so many cool items. And that the big flaw with that game was just that there wasn't enough stuff to do with them, you know? But then they just took all that away and was like Breath of the Wild was like, here's a high jump. It's super useful for the game, but it's not very innovative or very interesting. Oh, here's a shield. Here's a thunder strike, which I felt like that should be a spell anyways. If you've ever played A Link to the Past, You know, you get the medallions that have the spells on them and stuff. Like those were dope. Where the fuck were those? You know, where's Din's fire? Where's Pharaoh's wind and Nehru's love? Or you know, like at least give us a few side quests that like give us some cool interactions with that stuff that we really have to utilize it, because I guess when you meet the sages, or like the people that are supposed to become the guardians, like you do some stuff with them, but it's so insignificant. It's like, tell me what to do, but the interaction is always the same. It's like, yeah, I don't know, man. That's I've if you didn't know, I fucking love Zelda, but I'm very like Nintendo has been misfiring a lot lately. Quite a bit. Mario Kart, same deal. Mario Kart was dope, but Mario Kart World was not it. Like I like the game, I enjoy it, but the the whole open world thing and the lack of like basic features, you have to drive in between everywhere and that counts as a track lap. It's like, what? Okay. The fucking online is horrendous. So what we could do is maybe find some supporting elements with that, because it's a little bit out of tune. But I think that if we had a pad behind it, fucking Bitwig. There we go. I'm pretty sure that's what the melody is. So if we can create something like that, that's like a pad, and just have something like this, that might be kind of nice. Sorry. That's happening because there's these resonances that are popping too far out like this. There we go. Yeah, that sounds pretty good as a nice little supporting layer behind that. me see if this still works. We can maybe throw this back here. Do this. I like this. So just maybe this isn't the answer. There's this really cool thing on the bottom of this that I want to try to explore more, because if you listen, it's on the left speaker, but the bells on this, that's very interesting to me. Doesn't that sound awesome? So this somehow became a different key than this, but that's okay because we could just replace it. But I want to listen to what this sounds like with this muted as well. whatever happened here got messed up. So that's not supposed to do that. Yeah, I want the energy of the drums to pick up a little bit more, so I might look for some drum loops or play with this a bit. It's pretty cool, but not what I'm looking for. Maybe something like this could be kind of cool. And see if maybe I can make that late and see if anything in there is worth adding to this, because it needs some kind of shaker or some kind of thing that's going to push it a little further. That's okay. It's pretty nice ambience. Sorry, just trying different stuff to see if anything catches my ear, but it's all mostly just blurs, which is kind of annoying. It's not terrible, but it's also kind of like, all right, we'll do something cool. You can also play with that. Man, that actually sounds really fucking cool to me. This sounds like jet lag. Do you all from Ivy Lab? It's a pretty cool little thing. I'm also like, I need to fix this. So I like this beat, but it's the more that I listen to it, the more that I'm like, it's not what I'm looking for. So we're gonna just start like this, and we're gonna get this right. Oops. What does Eminem say? Where's my snare? Where's my snare? You better lose it. Can't stand that song. Let's make this like just way too far and see what this does. So now that we have one bar, we can start to see what this does. I need it. Yeah, we could probably work with that. I don't really want to turn this into a Flying Lotus track, but I'm just gonna keep exploring because it still doesn't sound right to me, but Hmm. Well, I could just bounce this and change this to whatever key I want. So right now it's an A, and I want to see if I can go for a lower key. So maybe F sharp. I kind of like that. So it's still like I still wanted to have the vibe of the original. And I think that was the thing with the other one was that I kind of just I didn't really alter the sample at all. I just put a beat over it, which sometimes gets the job done, but I'm hoping to find a way to reimagine this in a sense of having the same flavor but also sounding like a very fresh take on the matter without it being too foreign. I don't know. I think I'll keep playing with this though and seeing what's up with it. But does anybody have any questions about anything or Twilight Realm remix? I think that there were some cool vibes in here and everything is within that. I guess it's not that big of a deal, but like worst case scenario, you could always do this, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend, but you could always go to Old Faithful, which is Serato sampler, load audio file, and we'll find it, but Twilight Realm. There we go. A flat minor, changes to F sharp minor, find samples, and then this will just automatically move this for you, and wherever it is that I can just find. And then I can do the same thing that I did, 8 years ago, because you just repeat this. And then you go. I don't know if I want to do like a trap track again though. But you absolutely could if you wanted to. Yeah. Serato sample kind of makes things a little too easy, but I don't know, like just doing this usually isn't good enough for me because I don't feel like I'm actually You can also do stuff like this where you can I like that the arpeggiator is super off. It's kind of interesting. Why don't we go with that and see if that's any good? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, I met your mother at the bar. I'm just kidding. I feel like this is the strongest idea of today. Yeah, like that sounds fucking cool. I just need to find the right 808 for this. Alckemy.com. Roar. What happened to all these 808s that I had? I don't feel like making one. We'll just do this. I'll just modify this. But why is there... There we go. Okay, what else is causing this insane distortion? Sounds pretty good otherwise, but... Oh, this is probably it. That's not it. It's a cool riff. That's a fucking shitty fill. But I almost wonder if this needs to be like a beat earlier or something. Well, I guess what's happening is this is not warped properly. That's what I'm realizing. Because that's what the phrase should be. So what I can do though is I can come into this and grab this and put it here. And then drag this out until it loops in the way that it's supposed to loop. That's annoying. Yeah. It's annoying. Compactor. So I like that. That's a cool little compliment to this section. I swear to God, I did not record this shit that early. But whatever. That's... Does that happen to any of you all whenever you record stuff into Bitwig? It's like, it has a... I think I have recording quantization off. Yeah. So what the fuck? What the fuck? Have you all seen Metal Gear Awesome? What the fuck, asshole? was accidentally on the kick, so I wanted that on this. This sounds like a Far Side track now. Probably throw like one of these basses in here. Morphing saw or something. That would be kind of nice. You know. I think that would be pretty cool. Not quite what I'm looking for. Something kind of like that, but it's a good starting point. Grits, are you still here? We gotta add this in. Actually, hold up. I'm gonna do a couple of things here, because this is gonna be sick. Uh, Red Mountain? Dude, what the fucking computer? I have an M3 Max. There is no reason why this should be happening. What the fuck? Bruh. Oh my fucking god. What's the name of that track? Red Hot Skull. Okay. Hey Aaron, what's up? Brrr. Oh, thanks, dude. I can't believe I don't have Pumpkin Hill. Fuck is wrong with me? But I should still have the remixes. Oh, Knuckles remixes. There we go. This should have Pumpkin Hill. I just need to go find it. So here's a cool trick that you can do. You can, if you have a trackpad, you can move this sideways like this. I should probably make a video about this, but then you can do some scratching kind of like that. Give me 1 second. I've got a phone call. Hey, babe. What's going on? I'm on stream. Um, all right, guys. I have to run, but maybe Friday we can pick this up. Oh, but I gotta go. Corey's picking me up, and we have to go do some stuff before this place closes. But I had a great time. I hope that you all did too, and we'll do some more stuff Friday. Maybe Friday we'll do a different form of tune feedback where I'll have people come into the Discord and you can send me your shit, and then we'll talk about it. Um, we'll see. But yeah, the next few days are going to be kind of busy. Check out alchemy.com if you like the sounds and stuff that you've been hearing. I just put out a new preset pack. It's freaking sick. I have a new demo on it. There's a link for it in the description. Or book a lesson with me. Someone had a random lesson with me today over the Waldorf Iridium Core, and I was like, oh, dope. So, however I can be of service, that is my business for you. All right. Much love, guys. I'll see you later, and come back Friday, and we'll do the same thing. Bye.